Hi! I got very tired very quickly of the mat being on the floor, so I found some old plywood we had laying around and used it to extend my desk just a little bit. I clamped it down for extra security and added a second piece because this build is freaking massive. I had to steal the scissor support for the keyboard, so now Soph can squat and play piano simultaneously. It should be much easier to work on now that it's raised up. My hips and back are very happy about this decision. I also got a ton of Duplos in that 20-pound lot from a few weeks ago, and I have nowhere to put them. But because the LEGO group are geniuses and allow for all their bricks to be connected, I'm going to use them as scaffolding. Also, our old family friends gave me their son's old LEGO, which is perfect because I am dangerously low on some necessary colors. There are also a ton of amazing Star Wars minifigs in here, so expect another Bricklink LEGO investing video next week. I made this circular structure as the start of an updated Halo ring, and I put it here as a placeholder for where the fan would go. But the more I built up the scaffolding around it, the more it grew on me. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this shape as the ring for the big fan. I finished up building around the ring, but I realized on this side of the fan, the sand and dirt actually go down to the base of the ring. So I had to pull back some of the scaffolding to allow for this. I then started to finish up the tower. It's really difficult to get the height of it right, while also still having the various staircases look good and reach the levels they need to. It might be a little smaller than it should be, but comparing it to the game, I'm really happy with it. Especially after I added some needed details like the tree next to it and the wires that connect to the turbine. Here's that finished slope down to the base of the ring that I was talking about earlier. I think it flows really well. Started to map out the mountain face for reference so that I could begin working on the terrain in that last little section of ruins that I still have left. And now that this terrain's done and looking nice, it's time to start working on that last bit of ruins. The ruins are all hooked up to parts 1 and 2 now, and I just need to build out the part under the mountain. Even though this part will be covered up by the mountain, I still wanted it to be accurate. So I decided I would show that here before I cover it up with the rock face. Now it's time to cover up the last little bit of ruins here. I'm also running super low on tan bricks, and I may have to start tapping into the cantina, but we'll see how far I can go with what I have left. I decided to build out more of the courtyard to better visualize the building on this side of the map, as well as the various other terrain that surrounds it. I also built this boulder.
That is a nice boulder.
My goal for this section was to get the main structures built. So once I'm done with this tower building thing, I think I can call that a very successful week. And after a few more details, I've got this structure all finished up, and man, I think it looks awesome. I have to say, building these modern structures is such an interesting shift from the ruins that I've been building the past 3 sections. They're easier in that they're more streamlined and clean with their angles, where the ruins are a little more janky and you can kind of fudge with them a little bit. And in some ways that's great, but it's a lot harder to hide flaws when building with these angles. I am super happy with the progress I've made this week. I think this is going so well. I'm so glad I was able to use this Halo Ring mock-up as the structure for the turbine. I think adding all these tubes and wires coming off it just make it look so good. Based on how the mountain is going over there, I don't think the cantina has many days left having to scrounge for some pieces. Well anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next part of Last Resort. And you don't miss next week's video where I'm going to go through this lot that I just got and find all of the awesome minifigures that are in there and see how much I can sell them on Bricklink. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will catch you in the next one. Look at that boulder. That's a nice boulder.